Welcome to A Better HR Business, the podcast that looks at how HR consultants and HR tech firms grow their businesses and how they help their employers to get the best out of their people. Remember, for show notes and downloads, go to www.getmorehrclients.com/podcast. That's getmorehrclients.com/podcast. Okay, let's get started.
Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me. And welcome to episode number 100. Very exciting. I wanted just to take a few minutes here to look over the 100 episodes that we've been through here, because it's been such a great ride. It's been such a ball looking through the different types of businesses and the different locations. We've got people in recruitment, in talent acquisition, talent management, general HR consulting in different niches, whether that be harassment, bullying side of things, through to org development, occupational psychology, all sorts of different areas. And so I've had a great time learning about how businesses have grown and developed in their journey up until the pandemic, and then how they've also managed to deal with that aspect of things. So really fascinating stuff. Some key lessons that have jumped out of me have been, the diversity of marketing methods for growing businesses. So what successful businesses have tended to do is that they've found the marketing method or methods that best suit their styles. So for instance, some people run advertising campaigns and they get really good at that, and they just keep running new campaigns, testing it and ratcheting it up, whether that's LinkedIn or Google AdWords, Facebook, whatever it may be. But that's their method. Others, they're all about organic posts on LinkedIn. So telling their story, talking about their customers, their clients, talking about their journey, etc. And really sharing the stories on LinkedIn, which generates conversations on LinkedIn and helps them grow. Others, it's bigger scale. So they might be running conferences or webinar series or podcasts, all kinds of things. But the point is that there are so many options for you to choose from. The successful ones have a look at what works for them and then apply that. And so that takes me to the next lesson, which is being smart about it. So they found the methods that work best for them, and then they just make small improvements, the whole Kaizen thing of 1% improvements. So how can we make the next version of it slightly better? Or how can we get conversion to be improved? How can we get more leads in or win more sales by making small step improvements? That's a key aspect. The next lesson has been consistency. So if you look across different businesses, whether that's in the HR world or any part of the business world, you'll see a business blog on the website. How often are they blogging? Is it a post here and a post there, and then it stops for 3 months, and then we write 6 more in a week, that kind of thing? Or have they been consistent in their approach? So as I said, if they do advertising, well, have they been advertising month in, month out and monitoring the progress and the results from that? Or if it's blogging or LinkedIn posts, are they doing it every week, every month, continuing with that? But they don't just quit. Once they've found their approach that works for them, they keep doing it and they improve on it, but they keep going with it. And then the next lesson, which ties into that, is this may be controversial, but I see an element of hard work to it. Now, that may sound obvious, but if you look at LinkedIn and places like that, there's a lot of talk about having work-life balance, and there's mental health and all sorts of things, and just so hugely important, of course, in global pandemics, lockdowns, all that kind of thing. I think from all the businesses that I've heard, interviewed, things like that, and clients worked with, the ones where they've really succeeded, they've put in a lot of work. It also allows them freedom. So if you're running your own business, you can work the hours you choose. For instance, personally, I work with clients in the US, and I'm in a different time zone. So that means I take nighttime calls, but it also means I'm dropping kids off to sport and stuff like that. So I have that flexibility in that regard. And all of the successful businesses I've found have been putting in the hard yards, have been putting in the hard work, connecting it to that consistency, being smart about it that I talked about earlier. And that's how they've been leveraging that. And over time, you can look at ways of scaling, getting smarter about the way you do things. But there's that underlying element of the hard work that goes in with it. And I'm not sure that every person who's in an in-house role understands what you're doing if you're running your own business. There's a lot that goes on, as you know. And finally, all of these things, they tie into the theory or the principle that I talk about sometimes, which is the compound marketing. So you've heard of compound interest, where small amounts keep accruing. Gradually, they're building up to a larger amount over time. It's the same with compound marketing. So if you find what marketing method works best for you, you're smart about it to make improvements, you're consistent with it, so you keep going with it, keep applying that effort, and then adding the hard work to keep it going, you'll find the compound marketing works in a surprisingly effective way, that you start to get more and more sales leads with less work. It's almost a little strange to understand, is that it's a bit like a snowball. It starts off tiny, but as it rolls down the hill, it's picking up more and more snow, more ice, building in size to the point where you've almost got an automated lead generation machine operating, so that you've got new leads coming into your system, new clients having sales calls and all that sort of stuff, but it starts to really build momentum. So if you're listening to the podcast and you're looking at the different episodes and thinking, how can I apply it to my business? I would say, find what marketing method works best for you and your style, and really adopt that, and then be smart about it, make improvements, see what others are doing, and see how you can leverage those ideas. But then add consistency and hard work. So keep them moving through, keep working at it, and you will get that compound marketing effect happening. To finish, thank you very much for supporting the show, and also for guests and future guests. Really appreciate you sharing your insights, your stories, and your advice. It helps everyone who's listening to this to grow, develop, and improve the world of work. So we're all making a difference by contributing. So thank you, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks for joining us today on A Better HR Business, the podcast that explores the world of HR consulting and HR tech businesses. For show notes and downloads, go to www.getmorehrclients.com/podcast. That's getmorehrclients.com/podcast. Remember to subscribe and share the show with any friends who are busy growing a HR business. Thanks, and see you next time.